Welcome back, caregivers. If you're new to me, I'm Jennifer, a licensed speech pathologist who is on a mission to help caregivers learn and succeed with taking care of their loved ones at home. In today's video series of What's Wrong with Mom, I will be talking about your loved one's persistence in wanting to go home, what it really means, and what you can do to help. Okay, so if you're caring for a loved one that has dementia, then chances are that you've heard the statement, "I want to go home." Or maybe even something like, "I don't like it here," or "I'm looking for my son or daughter," or even "I'm looking for my mom or my dad." And they are all a part of the brain changing. So remember in a few videos ago when I talked about the hippocampal area? Well, once again, it's the area of the brain that gets damaged first in dementia. So let's remember and kind of go over what the hippocampus does. And it's where we store memories. And that's all kinds of memories. Memories such as our timeline of life events and keeping us oriented to our surroundings, so knowing where we are. When enough of the hippocampus becomes damaged, a person with dementia will have a really hard time trying to hold on to the timeline of their life. So they're going to forget where they are, how they got there, and maybe why they're there at all. But it doesn't end there, because the prefrontal cortex also gets damaged. And it's the prefrontal cortex that helps us to be reasonable and logical in our thinking. To top it off, language skills will also become affected. So it's going to make it hard for a person with dementia, to express themselves the way they want to. So, don't panic. Let's dive into some ways that you can help. So like with my other What's Wrong with Mom videos, let's pretend that I am the one living with dementia. The first thing that you want to do is to see if I have an unmet need. So this unmet need may be physical, like hunger or thirst, needing to use the bathroom, or pain, or it could be an emotional unmet need, like fear or sadness, even boredom. So think back to your childhood. When you needed something, like a drink of water, or let's say even that you started to become lonely or sad, you most likely found one of your parents to help you, right? So you knew that they would always be there. That home would always be there. Well, as my dementia progresses, I may not be aware of what I need or how I feel, let alone be able to describe it, but I will know that I used to get those things taken care of when I was at home. So that's where I want to go, and that is what I can say to you. So, caregivers, try to figure out if there is something that I need. Have I been to the bathroom lately? Have I had something to eat? Do I look like I'm hurting somewhere? See if you can help me figure out my need, and then I probably won't be trying to get home anymore. Now, next, you want to check out my environment. So if you're struggling to find an emotional or physical unmet need, then perhaps it's the environment I'm in that is causing me to become upset. So for this, I want to refer to Teepa Snow's 4 F's when checking out the environment. Number 1, is it friendly? Are the people and the objects around me things that I enjoy? Number 2, is it familiar? So do the people and things that are around me somehow tie me back to my life before dementia? Number 3, is it functional? Can I get around the environment that I'm in easily and safely? And number 4, forgiving. What happens if I make a mistake in the current environment that I'm in? So you can quickly go through this mental checklist to help you decide if what and who I'm around is making me feel uncomfortable, maybe even anxious. If it is, then I will be asking to go home, because home has all 4 F's. The last thing that you're going to want to do is learn how to be a detective. So if I'm asking to go home when I am already home, your automatic response is probably, "You were already at home, stop asking that." Am I right? But what you're not considering is the fact that I may not be able to recognize my own surroundings anymore. Remember my failing hippocampus? So the first thing to do, caregivers, is to stop and take a deep breath. because this can get really frustrating. But instead of getting upset with me, try becoming curious. First, you want to repeat my request back to me. So it might sound something like, "Oh, you want to go home. Is there something you were wanting to do there?" In doing that, it allows me to calm down because I know that you've heard me and you're trying to help me. And usually through your curiosity, you may find out what it is that I'm actually needing. So real quick, I want to tell you a story about a resident at my facility that I've worked with. Now this resident, every day around 3 to 3:30, I would see her pacing frantically in her wheelchair up and down the hallway. And I could tell that she was looking for something or someone. Now, this patient also was very, very hard of hearing. So when you would try to explain things to her, she couldn't really understand what you were saying, which made the situation even worse. Now, every day about 3 or 3:30, she would be asking for a ride to get home because her daughter was getting off the school bus and she needed to be there for her. Now, this patient was 92 years old. So her daughter, she did have a daughter, but my goodness, she was probably in her 70s at this point. But she was remembering back to a time when she was her mom and needed to be at home with her. So what I did was created a picture book, and it just had pictures kind of explaining what was going on, that her daughter was being taken care of by another family member and that she was safe and where she needed to be. So it helped her to calm down. It helped her to understand that I knew what she was talking about. And then every few days we would let her call her daughter, who could then talk to her about how she was doing and things that were going on. So all of that to say that there is no black and white answer in dementia care, but there can be compassion. And there are some tips that can help to calm a loved one down when they're looking to go home. You just have to help find it. So also, caregivers, I want to remind you that if possible, try taking breaks anytime that you can, because this can get really hard to deal with and difficult to deal with. So you're going to need a break yourself. Please try to do that. Now, if you haven't seen my other videos in this series, check them out here. And there's going to be more great content posted again soon. Thanks for watching, and until next time, good luck cracking the code.